You know, maybe 2-3 minutes or something. Yeah. I never do it because
this is just for probably see. Profile image. This is really big, and we'll get headshots if anybody really wants one. I'll do the best I can. I don't have a professional photography background, but that's but a good headshot demonstrates credibility, demonstrates professionalism, and also what does a good headshot look like? So this just like a study from kissmetrics.com, and they did an A/B test and found that folks who had professional headshot versus like an image of what service they were offering experienced a 95% increase in conversions. And that kind of goes back to like what you're selling is yourself as a freelancer. You are giving services and selling services, but what people really want to connect with is you personally, and that's where I think the real bread and butter is. So a good headshot is clear, focused, and the background is as basic as possible. It doesn't distract from you because you're at the very center. With your education, add degrees and certifications that you own. You do verify sometimes. I'm not sure what circumstances are actually. Do you know anything about that? Yeah, that's a really interesting question about when do we verify.
I uploaded my degrees on there, and they've been like under review since I started. It's just been a year.
Oh, really?
Like they've been pending. I've uploaded like for a year. I haven't really. I mean, I guess I could always.
So they don't
reach
show.
out. They don't show up yet. No,
Oh.
it just said pending. And I don't know if it was. I mean, obviously, I could have. It didn't bug me or anything like that, but I could reach out to somebody obviously and just say, hey, what's going on with that? But
Yeah,
it's been in review forever.
If you want to remember, you shoot me an email.
Okay.
I'd look into it. It'd be a good educational exercise for me to know why that might be.
Okay. Cool.
We're hitting buyers, and would love like buyers' perspectives on this too.
Hey,
I think we'll have probably a lot of walk-ins during this, so we might go through it again later.
When people come after 5, you're going to do it again?
Maybe. You can see how many people come. I'm going to just send it to them in an email. So guest service tips and tricks. This one's really big, especially when you're getting started. Answer, I guess it doesn't really go away, but answer, it's hard when you're getting started because you aren't used to waiting for gigs to for orders to pop up. But answer ASAP. We list your response rate in your profile, and that's often something people look for is what is that response rate, especially when people are trying to get something done in a hurry, as most people are. But top sellers on Fiverr have on average 98% response rate, and we'll get back to you within a day. The average response time is 1 hour. I didn't know, that's crazy.
But you get a notification on your cell phone.
Yeah, you do. And I don't actually know what that looks like. Do you know what that looks like?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like any other notification that if you have other apps, I mean, it just comes across just like that.
Can you set a sound for it? Is it just like a ding?
No, I mean, it comes across the sound that I use for notifications all across the board, so
Okay.
no.
Yeah, you have to download the app Fiverr, and then you get notifications.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. I wonder if there's a way that you could set like a unique sound for it so that you hear it. Just like Tinder, I don't know if you know that.
Well,
Yeah.
I do get notifications from the people I buy from.
Oh, yeah. And make sure you understand every inquiry fully. I think that's something too that people really learn once they get started, and like after their first couple of orders, they like start to clarify what they're offering at what price level. And I think personally, the more clear you can be about what you're giving, the better off everybody in the transaction. And anybody who's freelance really knows that like if you can like sort of cut down at the front end on that confusion, you're much more likely to have a better experience. You're not going to be struggling to figure out if you're offering more than what your service is worth, or et cetera, like all that. Yeah, like what requirements for work need to be met? Can you deliver? If you can't deliver, that's okay. I would definitely just like, be polite and say, I can't do this, but here's somebody who might be able to do it. Communication is a must. I think over communicating is better too. And checking in too. If you have like I don't know if this is listed here, but like if you have like a 5-day order period and it maybe requires a couple of different pieces of the project, checking in with the buyer and saying, hey, this is where I'm at, can go a long way. Just a little thing.
You can always ask for an extension.
Oh yeah, that too.
I've been a buyer and I got my logo designed. You guys can see it if you want. And I remember there were these different packages where it would come with like different edits. Like some people it would be like a low rate but no extra edits included, or like a higher rate would have several edits included. And so that just kind of gave me a sense of like, oh, okay, this is like the flow. This is how this is gonna go.
Yeah, and then you get the hang of it after you've done it a couple times. Have you bought multiple things on Fiverr?
I've made multiple inquiries, but then I can't remember who's bought the second thing. I was recently making one, and then my husband kind of took over. So.
Oh, sure. And I think in addition to some of this too, it's if it isn't one of your projects or it's a bigger thing, getting more context sort of where the buyer is and why they like the context behind the project, so you know that if they are on a deadline, that like can help inform you if it's something where you need to make edits, or you think you might need to make edits. Figure out when you want to get it done so that it can be done within the buyer's sort of life frame. So here's an example of a sort of conversation between a buyer and seller.
Also, this price negotiation, like you list, I'll do your website for $5, then the person say, oh yeah, $5, that's not true, I'll do it for 200.
Yeah.
Does everything start off at $5?
No.
No, but they,
Browsing, I was like, what
no,
should
but
we
they
do?
won't do it for 5, they
Yeah.
just want to
Yeah.
be listed there for 5.
Yeah, we've come a long way. There was a point when we were a marketplace. I think when we first started, it was kind of the concept was, what will people do for $5? And then as we've grown, we've matured into being a platform for freelancers and realized that it makes a lot more sense that people set their own prices. So you can, anywhere between like over 1,000 and yeah. So.
And also, a lot of companies now are listed on Fiverr, not just individuals.
Yeah, that's true. There are firms all over the world will list stuff on Fiverr. It's just a means to getting things done. I think it's what's interesting about that is that like consulting firms can offer like sort of one-off services on Fiverr as compared to like they may be on retainer for like a company. They can if you just need like a business plan written or something like that, then they can offer that on Fiverr. And it's just another way to sort of piece out the whole process of business. Here's another example from Cedrela. I want to see the hot dog man minifig on the street.
I like the waiting for your comments. You're kind of like, oh, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do next.
Yeah.
And also some workers over-deliver. You pay them $5 and they give you like 10 hours worth of work.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, what are you doing that for? You're losing money. I mean, you're losing. Maybe they're trying to build up some good ratings.
Yeah, it's possible. But I think also that's sort of like a good example of why it's important for you as the seller to be clear with what you're willing to offer and to think like, am I really willing to offer this? Is this too much work? To make sure that you have a good experience too.
No, but some countries, $5 is a lot of money.
Yeah. So speak the language you agree to speak. That's pretty easy here in the U.S. Keep all communication inside Fiverr too. That's really big. We can like ensure the whole process of transaction and make sure that like you're protected. So if something does go wrong, we can refund you your money or kind of figure out what happened. But we can only do that if communication is taking place on Fiverr. So that's really big. And it can be really challenging. And I think that there are things people do.
There's not a video conference in there right now, is
No,
there?
not yet. That
No,
would be
but
really
you
nice.
can communicate in any language you want. Like if someone speaks French, then you can do it in French.
But like, for example, I had a buyer, and she had a really long project for me. And so we ended up exchanging phone numbers and she talked about it on the phone because it was just way more than we could just communicate
Right.
over typing out. And I know that when we started to type our phone numbers out, we got that red alert like, oh, don't
Did she
take
like
it out.
upload something? Like an attachment? People do that.
No, she just, when she shared her phone number and it was back and forth, we both got kind of like that red warning flag, like, hey, be careful when you're taking the conversation out of Fiverr.
Mhm.
But we kind of had to because it was just such a long
And so personally, I think that's fine. I mean, there
Yeah.
are going to be situations where that happens, and I think also that like you're not going to risk losing Fiverr as a platform altogether. That's one gig, and so I think one thing people do is they'll upload like PDF files that have contact information on it.
Oh, yeah.
Also, it's not allowed on Fiverr to exchange emails.
Yeah, another thing that I think the PDF helps with is, like we don't scan the PDF document, we just sort of scan the communication, like our the algorithm does. Not to tell you guys how to cheat on Fiverr, but I think that that's an effective tool.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Yeah, so this is a big one.
No bullying. Okay.
Yeah, bullying and harassing. Unfortunately, it does happen.
Oh yeah?
Deliver your best work. Yeah, this kind of goes back to that core thesis of like, if you're willing to deliver what you're saying you're going to deliver, and then think hard about that.
If they pay $300, you still get only $1?
No, we take 20%. Just like
Oh, you still
upward
get
to-
$1 for every $5.
Mhm.
Okay.
Don't fake deliveries. Does anybody have any experience with this? This becomes more of an issue if you have a high volume over a period of time. And I mean, this is something I think that people struggle with, even like at the top level, like some of our top sellers. This woman, Charmaine Hosek, Boomsaw writes resumes. She was in Houston, and she makes like several $100,000 a year writing resumes. Just like that's all she does on Fiverr. But she's doing so many gigs that she like freaks out, and she's fake deliveries before, which is a big problem. And I think our customer experience team has like worked with her on like strategies for not needing to do that. But yeah, something to keep in mind. It can really affect your rating and really affect your ability to get more orders. The live gallery feature. That's
So the buyer paid 20%, but the seller doesn't pay anything.
I'm not actually sure. Asking for feedback. It's good to include, just as a standard practice, a little note reminding, and the more personalized it can be, the better. Just reminding folks to give you a positive review. It's just that way you get the review. Just like if you go into a business or if you work with somebody offline, and they'll probably ask you for a Yelp review or something like that. but reviews, especially here, are super powerful. And also, the other thing about reviews, so you get a rating, and then a review, like a personalized review, more than just like outstanding experience, because you'll go through and you'll see that everybody has like all these reviews, and it's like one-liners. But asking for a personalized review and being willing to deliver a personalized review is really cool. Like, because when you're looking, because if I'm looking through someone's profile and then I see that like there's a description of what the process was like and it's positive, that's really compelling. So how do you ask for feedback? That's a good question. Here's a really good example.
They all say, please give me a good review.
Yeah.
And what can I say to that? No, I'm not going to do that.
Or you don't have to respond. You know, if you don't have a good experience, and that's something we cover in this. It's like if you do have kind of an awkward experience where there maybe was a miscommunication, and you don't think there's going to be a good review, it's probably a good idea not to ask for a good review, just to like, you know.
No, my policy is if I don't have a good review, I don't post a review at all.
Yeah.
That's my policy.
Especially with negative reviews are tough because you know they are so penalizing. So
Then the poor person will not get more jobs. So I just don't comment at all.
although if you have a really bad experience, like it's obvious somebody like is like just clearly lying about a skill.
Yeah,
I think, you know,
it happened
negative
to me.
reviews are part of the way it all works. Like you want to make sure that marketplace is maintaining its quality, and so people who aren't up to snuff are sort of being weeded out. But also, if you have to leave a negative review, I think good advice is like be specific and be descriptive.
Why you're not happy?
Say sort of what happened, and like if you're worried about what's going to happen to the seller, or like taking away their source of income, then just you can leave like a good like a 5-star rating, and then just say there were these issues, and just clarify what it was. So that way, people kind of know what they're getting into.
Yeah, that's the best.
So why does this message work in particular? And this message is informative. It's not begging for a review, but it's kind of educating on the buyer on why reviews are important. It's also connecting sort of like this seemingly arbitrary process of like, leaving a review. It's all online, digital, with a real person on the other side. It's really compelling. And it's short. What do you do if you get a bad review? Now, this is a good question. I think
You can ask the buyer to remove it.
you can.
I don't know if you can.
I don't know.
You can. There's one person that made a logo for me that it wasn't very good. They delivered it late, and I ended up I just docked her like half a star, and she came back and asked for a revision request or something like that.
Give you extra service to kind of help mitigate that bad review, or like.
Yeah, I mean, no. It was something she contested that I gave her less than 5 stars, and so I got an alert from Fiverr saying that she contested it and I need to change it.
Oh, wow.
And so then I responded to her, I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it because X, Y, Z, and then she understood. So,
Yeah. I think that's a good thing to know.
Because a buyer will not buy if they see a bad review.
Right.
So that's why you have to be very careful to post a bad review.
Yeah, I mean, bad reviews aren't the end of the world, but they are pretty damaging, especially if you don't have a lot of reviews under your belt. So I think this is another good thing for folks who are just thinking about getting started or just started selling. If you get a bad review, just be willing to sort of like take hold of that conversation and say,
change your profile.
What can I do for you to make this review?
No,
Can you
delete your profile and start a new one?
I think you actually can, but you shouldn't be doing that.
No, I mean, if you have a bad review, you should do that, actually.
I think you're not supposed to, and our algorithm can catch it and flag it. I don't know what exactly triggers that. I know that there are people who have done it and haven't done it and all that stuff.
Okay.
But this message works because it uses facts. It's not emotion-based. It's polite but firm. And it's just kind of straightforward. It's not defensive. You're not like, hey, why'd you give me a bad review? But it's more like, I understand that maybe you had a bad experience. I'd love to find a way to rectify that. This review is really important to me, so let's figure it out. Don't ask for positive feedback when you didn't earn it. So I think that's like, you're putting yourself on some sort of shaky ground if you're asking for a good review, or like, begging somebody for a good review when you had a bad experience. So kind of.
No, you just don't respond if you don't want to give a good review.
Yeah, or somebody who had a bad experience might be like, you want a good review now? Like, whatever, I'm giving you a bad review. So like.
Or no review at all.
Yeah, let sleeping dogs lie. Sort of a good about it. Yeah, don't spam. This isn't a huge problem these days, but it's definitely something that takes place. Don't spam your buyers. Don't copy and paste messages. I personally think canned messages are a really useful tool. But just like any good canned response or canned message, it like has room for just a little bit of personalization. And so that's a good way to like kind of keep up with maybe a high volume of gigs, but still maintain some kind of personalization. Yeah, and buyers will buy from you if they like your work. That's not something to underestimate. The good experiences I've had on Fiverr, I'd like to tell everyone about. So, and then you can get featured. So getting featured is like a really big. It's probably the biggest thing that you can do to help your. And it can backfire to the point where then you get a backlog that's pretty long. But if you want to get featured. Don't submit a request to become featured. Our editorial team searches our marketplace. They try to find sellers to do it. Some of that's algorithms, some of that's relationship with our community, stuff like this. So you guys being here is like awesome. Just kind of keeping up with what's going on here and any community events that may offer opportunities is a big thing to do.
Where are they based at?
Tel Aviv. Yeah, we're based in Tel Aviv. But we've got offices in the U.S. in New York, San Francisco, Chicago, and like Tampa, Florida.
Okay, so they have 5 offices in the United States?
Yeah, they're all pretty small. I mean, there's only like 8 of us here.
Okay.
But yeah, gigs are expected to be complete. All this stuff's pretty standard. Provide great service. Use clear communication, polite tone, meet deadlines. Just like any kind of digital platform, get to know the terms of service. It's going to be what protects you in any situation. If you're buying a gig and something goes wrong and you understand the terms of service, you'll know that you'll know when you are protected and when you aren't. And I think that's just the most important thing in any of these sort of like online economies. Understanding how they work.
Is Fiverr online in different languages?
It's a good question. I don't know if we still support. Tyler, you know?
Sales support, what was the question about?
Are we in any other languages?
Yeah, French, German, and Spanish to a certain degree. We did translation for that, but we actually curtailed that for a little while.
Yeah.
Focus on that.
Oh, okay. So the French is up and running? Not yet.
Entirely.
Not yet.
Yeah, they're not like updated, so we like have discontinued all efforts to like.
We do have a fair number of buyers in France, though.
Okay.
Join the community. Keep up with our events and activity. Also, like we work with our PR team and social media and all of that. So if there are opportunities, we love community-driven PR and content and brand stuff. So anything like that, when those opportunities come up, we turn to the community and people we know first. So that's really one thing. And our social channels, more of that community stuff, just online community. We have a podcast. It's a little obscure, but it's on the website. And it's got tons and tons of specific, episodes that are very specific on different pieces of the process of Fiverr. So, like, if you ever have specific questions and you're looking for an answer, look to like the podcast, and then Fiverr Academy is another really useful tool, and we're constantly like updating the Fiverr Academy. Our goal is to sort of have everything in the Fiverr Academy be available online, and then also do workshops like this to like dive deeper into different aspects of the process. We don't have all those materials developed yet. We've got a pretty shoestring team, but we have like a plan for getting that out. So, but yeah, like, the Academy is definitely a resource to keep in mind. And whether you're a buyer or seller too, because I think getting to know sort of the seller's perspective can really inform you a lot as a buyer and trigger a lot of things you might not otherwise think about. Our blog too, we do guest blog posts, as I kind of mentioned, but something to keep in mind. And then our help center. We also have a forum. I don't know if it's been mentioned yet, but the Fiverr forum is a good place to, like, Jack had a question about how you contact customer support, which we'll like, after this, we'll kind of circle up and kind of just go around and open up the discussion. But like questions like how do you actually get a hold of customer support? Some of these online communities are really good places to look. Facebook groups or just the Fiverr forum. You can get better advice there than like, I honestly don't know how to get a hold of support. I've never had to.
They don't have an 800 number, and
I know that.
They
Yeah,
don't.
That's pretty challenging.
And if you send a support ticket, then you put support at Fiverr.
Mm-hmm. The best advice I've heard, by the way, about, and in terms of like communicating with support, is if you can be, the more clear you can be about what happened, the better. I think that's true in dealing with any kind of customer support. Just being, like informative, documentarian, and unemotional is like, and positive. It's like really a good way to go about it. Yeah.
Did you see what Google came out with?
What Google came out with?
Yeah, some dramatic feature that is going to accelerate everything that they do, particularly in text. Dramatic.
What is it?
I don't know.
Oh,
I just saw it.
I'm so curious. That's like quite the introduction. I'll have to look it up later. Yeah, so you can lose featured gig status. One, it's temporary, so like just know that if you ever do become featured, it's not permanent. Violations of the terms of service obviously will result in you losing that status, and then just maintain your response rate or the runtime. Those things are challenging too, especially when you're getting a high influx. We're attracting like more business buyers and like high level buyers every day. You guys have seen our brand campaign all around the city. These ads up. They're also in New York. They've gained a ton of traction. The New Yorker wrote a really critical piece about us, which is actually really sweet. The New Yorker wrote about us. But if people know who we are now, I think we've seen, like our metrics, we've just seen an incredibly large uptick in visits and transactions. So you're here at the right time. And that's sort of the end of that. Any questions?
This is specifically Fiverr Press because I do also already do it in that category. These are all like people that are searching for different types of work. So then I specifically send them off.
I work
Yes.
You want to do another one?
Make sure your email is on there.
Do you have this card?
And actually, if you want to put a star next to your name, so I know to like say. Awesome.
Excuse me,
Real quickly, I just wanted to know, I don't have any cards right now, so if you want to take a picture, my email address is listed there. You can shoot me an email. That's probably the best way to get my email address. Okay. Carry on, sorry.
Nice.
We actually, I can't see you at all.
We don't Right.
If you go to the post office, you can.
Awesome. Oh, these are sick. Okay, guys, you are free to go.
I also wanted to start.